Hey everyone, it's Simone. With Unlock Your Design, I am here with Bella Crystal, and we are so excited because today is the first day of our Living the Body 2 series. And we are super excited about this series because we are here with Teresa Padilla, and our series 2 is called The Cauldron, Chinese Medicine. Oh wait, I'm getting the order right. Teresa, pop in, and tell us the name again, because I'm
The
winging it.
Cauldron. The Cauldron.
Yeah,
Yay!
yes. And Teresa, we are just so blessed to have Teresa with us here today. Teresa has a doctorate in metaphysics, a doctorate in divinity, has studied Chinese medicine for 17 years, and has been practicing and studying, working with the I Ching since 2003. Bella and I met Teresa when we did a call from Unlock Your Design for collaborators, and Teresa came to one of those calls, and I heard her speak, and I had chicken skin the whole time. I was blown away. And then she joined us in our Portals of Deconditioning container, and she has been bringing medicinal foods to Portals of Deconditioning. And I was so blown away by her first um, conversation with our group that I messaged her and I said, I want to work with you. What you're doing to me is it's groundbreaking. And I know the wisdom that you have needs to be out in the world, because my journey with Chinese medicine is I've been doing acupuncture and using Chinese medicine as a wellness since for 20 something years, and 20 years with the same practitioner. So I could see how she was eloquently and elegantly and succinctly um, integrating Chinese medicine into all these with all these systems. So that was the catalyst, and Bella was, and Ashley, we were all just so blown away, and that was the catalyst for Living the Body 2 series. So today is our introduction so that you can see if you want to be a part of that with us and join us. And Teresa, share with us your journey so people can understand how you're weaving all of this magic together.
Well, you almost made me cry, Simone. Get my little Hallmark moment going. This is, the I Ching is such a labor of love for me. It has been for a long time. I'm kind of a nature girl. I always have been and have had lots of different experiences throughout my life. So when I came to the I Ching, it was like coming home to me. And every system that's been kind of woven around the I Ching is like going deeper and deeper and deeper into my home. So, I studied metaphysics for years. That brought me to a place where I could go beyond my ego so that I could really be at home with the I Ching and be at home with the hexagrams and the elements and nature. And then by the time that I discovered Chinese medicine and working with the food therapy, it literally changed my life. I went from a size 16 in women's sizes to a size 8 in 3 months working with the food therapy, with the medicinal foods. And I had severe allergies at the time. So within around 3 to 4 months, those allergies were gone. I had severe cracks in my feet that were really deep and very painful, and nothing that I worked with. And I had been living on, natural medicine for years. Nothing worked. And then when I found the food therapy and started working the system into my life, my cracks healed up. So literally, little by little, and it wasn't really little by little, it seemed to happen overnight, and it was just a very balancing and grounding way to work with my health, and I loved it. And then when I found Human Design System, that called me in, and Gene Keys, the Gene Key system, and bridging the gap with Unlock Your Design, working with the portals of deconditioning, all I can say is, wow, it's just a deepening and deepening process of marrying the foods with the I Ching and the hexagrams.
Yeah, so that was, all of that weaving is how we came up with the Cauldron, medicinal foods, Chinese medicine, I Ching, and human design. And as we move into the series, we're going to have one session on medicinal foods, one session focused on Chinese medicine, one session focused on portals of deconditioning in the I Ching, and then motivation, human design, and the PHS. So we're really going to weave that whole trajectory that you just outlined into this series so that everyone can begin to understand the magic of this and the wisdom of this work, and how weaving it all together can have amazing results.
I'm so excited to work with all of you and to get this out here. I'm so excited.
One of the things that I love too about what you're doing, Teresa, is I wish I had a screenshot of one of your medicinal food recipes, because as we are moving through in portals of deconditioning, as we're moving through the wheel, you are sharing with us these medicinal recipes that integrate all of these aspects, and they're tied to the seasons. So it's so grounded. Could you maybe give an example of, like, right now where we are in the wheel in terms of the elements, the seasons, and everything? Could you give an example of a medicinal food that for this week would be incredible for people?
Yeah, right now we're in the if you know about human design, we're in the mandala, we're in the 52nd transit. And that really has to do with, I call it the double standstill. So it's a time where you really need to be rooted in you, your inner self, and your inner authority. And really not move out anywhere. So, in a time when it's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere and there's lots of activity going on, and we're doing all these things, going on trips and vacations and spending time with our families, and a lot of us are back to work full time. That's a time when our nervous system is pumped up. That's a time when our bodies are heated up. That's a time when maybe we have high anxiety. It's a time when we're not so calm sometimes. So standing still is not the easiest thing to do. So one food that really helps is goji berries. It's also called lychee or wolfberries. And they are so good, but what they do is they calm the nervous system. They calm the liver meridian. And that aids you to be able to be grounded and be still and just be the wonderful you that you are. Mm-hmm. Since I've been working with these hexagrams and pairing the medicinal foods with them, with each transit. This morning I woke up, which I often do, it's first thing in the morning, with kind of a revelation about the 39, which is coming up. And that's the 39th hexagram. And that has to do with liberation and provocation. And you still have the standing still that you have to be on the bottom. but you can soar to the right spirit in the right time. And it actually happens to be my EQ in Gene Keys. And what I realized is that we have this triple warmer system in the Chinese medicine system that is in martial arts what's called the three dantians. It works with the lower burner, the middle burner, and the upper burner. If you want to call it the Trinity in Christianity, whatever you want to weave it into, it is relevant. And it's the only meridian that allows us to process heaven and bring it to earth, and earth to bring it to heaven. And it helps us to bring the not self in what we're not aware of and process, it's like a transformer, into and be absorbed into our true compass and our true self. And so I had this realization that that's what the 39 is really related to, is this meridian. So it's pretty exciting to me to be able to share what that really means through the Living the Body series, and also the Portals of Deconditioning. That is the deep system that Unlock Your Design aids, kind of carries people through the whole mandala system.
Bella, I'm feeling you. Can you come into the conversation here? I'd love to hear your wisdom.
Yeah, Simone, I saw that you just posted the link to sign up in the private chat. So I've posted it on YouTube and on Facebook. And really what I love with this form of container is that it is for everybody. This is the beauty of what we did the first time we did Living the Body. It was such valuable, like, it's not even insight or knowledge. It's like it's the wisdom that comes from years and years and years of exploration. And at that time, you know, it was different, and we were co-creating with Tim. And now with you, Teresa, it's, you know, but it's that it's not knowledge. It's not something anybody can read to. And I'm grateful that we are able to give this to everybody. And the type of container that we are creating is, you know, you can be with us on the inside of the Zoom container on the webinars and be there co-creating, asking questions. Maybe you have some of the coming transits that are going to be woven into what we are looking at, because all this has to do with the I Ching, has to do with the seasons of the year, the wheel that Teresa was just speaking about. Where are we now? Where are we going next week? And at the same time, we are streaming it on our YouTube. We are streaming it on Unlock Your Design page. So I feel like, I feel really grateful that we are able to do these things, you know, for the world. And I'm positive and sure that we are going to create some kind of course or, you know, something different afterwards. But to have this as a first step, we're like completely just opening up the container, opening up the book of wisdom that you're like writing with your life, Teresa, and inviting people into either inside or just as, you know, to the level of how much you want to engage with it, which is spontaneously popping on Tuesday afternoons, you know, when you're having your afternoon tea and you catch us, or before going to bed in Europe, for example. So I'm grateful that you, Simone, has taken the initiative to create this with Teresa, and to, you know, it's something that now that we are a team and we have collaborators like you, Teresa, it's able to kind of just sprout up. There is a seed, and we are like, let's see what can sprout from this. And I feel like we are in that kind of, you know, harvest time soon. So this is the seed that has been growing from April, when we started the Portals of Deconditioning. We are going every transit, every six day, there is a new key that is alive for the collective that the sun is shining on. And this is the seed that has started to sprout since gate 3, when you came into that container with us, Teresa. And yeah, I feel like that's just the magic of people coming together and collaboration, and my fourth line that knows that everything is like right there with my friends and the new friends that are coming in my life.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I'm so grateful. I mean, I was thinking like this, you know, with my 39 this morning, that this is the right spirit, you know. We're in that transit, and I've been waiting for a long time for the right spirit to bring this forth to the world. And you know, this is it. This is it.
And you know, Teresa, when you say that as well, like you are a manifester, you're a 5-1, and a lot with a 5-1 can feel like, oh, I have to do it alone. I mean, we know that because we work with Ashley and many other things. You're still kind of like, you know, having that feeling and breaking through to work with other, especially transpersonal lines and create together. And I feel like that's the thing with the 5-1, and even more with the manifester. Even if you have that ignition in you, you're not supposed to do it all by yourself. It's all about that interdependence and that spirit, like you're saying, of, you know, we are many people that are hungry for this, and we can work together in order to you know, give it to the world. So I am happy, you know, I see Simone and me, Simone is a 4-6 as well, like working a lot with 5-1s, because it feels like, yeah, there's some beautiful power in that when the 4-6 cannot feel kind of less than the 5-1, and when the 5-1 can be like, yeah, you're so different, but you're kind of cool. You know, like, I like your softness. Let's do it together. So there, like, I see that there's, you know, it makes me smile to think about the profiles and the aura types.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I just want to, you know, Bella, you are provoking me, which is one of the things we love, you know, about our relationship. And one of the things that in holding you and what you just shared is that what I would like to share about my experience is that for those of you who have been with us on Unlock Your Design and have followed us over time, you know, I own that one of my great struggles in life. I'm 5 foot tall. I'm an emotional being. And, you know, I have not felt very beautiful in my life. And I don't, you know, it was hard, you know, when Bella first invited me to be on camera with her. I had to face so much fear to just show up and be seen. And I, you know, I weigh more than I want to weigh. And it has been an, you know, a struggle for a lot of my life, you know, up and down this wave. And when I heard Teresa, I was like, you know, food is medicine. I believe in that. I believe what we eat is a reflection of how we value ourselves, and are we worthy of eating food that nourishes us, and do we care enough to invest in that? And I can say that I signed up for, you know, Teresa's in our container, and I personally am working with her. I purchased a quarter session with her, and I've been making the recipes that she sends me. And I notice how when I'm eating with the seasons, and Teresa's explaining to me how, you know, it takes me a while to take it all in, but this one was, I believe, fire feeds wood, or Teresa, maybe you could take us through that loop. But my point is this, is that as I'm eating these medicinal foods, as I'm valuing buying the ingredients and taking the time to make the recipes and to think about what it is I'm doing and how I'm living my life and how I'm nourishing myself, and am I receiving from these foods and the seasons and the totality of it. I'm noted, you know, it cracks you open, you know, it reveals to you where the opportunities are. And you know, one of the things that I think has come to life for me is that it's shown me that I'm allergic to formaldehyde. And I've been on this journey this last few weeks of understanding how prevalent formaldehyde is in so many products, toilet paper, clothing. And, you know, as I'm eating the medicinal foods, I feel like they're pushing out of my body or releasing from my body things like formaldehyde that my body is allergic to. And it is brought my awareness to some nervous system loops that were tied to being an infant and being force fed and being forced to eat things that my infant self knew wasn't right for me, and being force fed as a, forced to eat foods as a child and all through my life, and the connection between my nervous system and the act of eating and the act of what foods and grief and sovereignty. So this process of connecting with medicinal foods and all of these modalities are cracking me open. And everything that stands for, facing so much within myself.
Yes, I have found that food is the deepest conditioning. I heard that from, I think, Ra, the founder of the Human Design System. And I heard that in my study with the food therapy. And I am finding that to be true more and more, and finding out why, that is true. We're connected to a bigger macrocosm in nature and universe and the universe, and every organ system. Like when like you were talking about, Simone, that preparing the foods and making the choices of what you're eating and that value and how that's opening up and revealing things to you. Literally, that process of preparing food, whether it's preparing a meal or making choices of what you're going to eat, what that does is it employs each one of the senses that we have. And every one of those senses is connected to an organ system in the body. And those organ systems in the body then are engaged and activated into a whole process that is a microcosm that connects us with the macrocosm. And that's why it's called the yin-yang system. It's neither either yet both. They're all connected at all times. And when you do activate and become alive and aware with those choices, like you are, Simone, I mean, there's every possibility just opens up to you. And it's so valuable. It's hard for me to see people just eat things and try to fit things into their day. And I understand the conditioning with that. I mean, we work in a world, everybody's like working, doing their thing, having their kids, trying to fit things in. And it becomes somewhat difficult sometimes to really value ourselves with the food, because a lot of that using food as a sacred nourishment has been lost sometimes in our culture. And so bringing that to people's awareness and how important that is to them and how it can free them to everything in their lives. I mean, for me, the reason why I wanted to study the food therapy was because I couldn't find balance in my life. I just couldn't fit everything in, it just wasn't working. I mean, I would try everything and I believed there had to be something that could make it all work together. And then I heard one day my teacher say that you can't work any system together without the earth element. The earth element has to be in the center. And I'm like, that's what I was looking for, was that earth element, which is the center of all of the other elements in the whole system, the whole world. It's called the core. There's a lot of different words for it, the middle dantian, but it is what connects everything and holds everything together. So that in and of itself, learning about that earth element can just transform you and transform your life.
Teresa, we have a question from somebody who's joined us today, and it's Azurite is asking, I'm in Australia. Are the seasonal medicinal foods suitable for the southern hemisphere?
Definitely. You go according to, like right now in the northern hemisphere, we're in the summer solstice. So you would just take that season and use the foods that are associated with that season. So it's flipped, you know, but it's still relevant. And even if you're using because right now the element that is highlighted and dominant in the summer here for the summer solstice term in the northern hemisphere is the fire element. The opposite of that is the water or the water element. And so they're both connected. So if you work with one, it's going to work with the other. What's the opposite is always the lowest function. So, you know, you want to work with the fire element when you're in the opposite hemisphere and bring it up to kind of be on par with the water element so they can kind of work together as a marriage, like a perfect marriage.
Fantastic. So if you're in Australia, you can join us. It'll still be relative to you. The seasons will just be flipped. And thank you so much for that question, because it helps anyone and everyone who, you know, wherever you are in the world. We have just a few more minutes left. Bella, is there anything you'd like to add before we complete today?
Yeah, when I hear you speak, I'm thinking about there's always a way in. And I think in the work that we're doing and in everything that we're weaving, we are finding different ways in. And I always say that if you work with the body, if you work with the densest layers, because we have many bodies, we have the more dense body, which is the physical body, but there is the emotional body, there's the mental body, there's the spiritual bodies. And Richard Rudd speaks a lot about this in this 22nd gene key. Like the whole gene key system, it's all about frequency and it's all about these bodies. So for me to work with the physical body, I always say if we crack the code of the densest layer, all the other layers are going to show themselves to us. Because this is like the layering of all the more subtle layers and also the layering of every moment. We know that fascia in the body, it forms after how you feel emotionally every day. And you can see older people, they become like they you know, the body stays in that emotional state and the fascia kind of dries up in that state. So what I feel is that, you know, food, body, medicine, this kind of medicine is really a way in, and it's really a way of accessing all the other layers. And that's also why it goes perfectly together with human design. It goes perfectly together with the journey we're doing in Portals of Deconditioning. And I feel like living the body, the second season, you know, it's like highlighting this. When we start with the densest part, when we go into the body, that's where we're starting to really dare to crack even the densest part. And the body never lies. And that's the thing that you're saying, Simone. You're seeing this thing happening in your body. You're seeing your body detoxing. You're seeing your body telling you even about things that happen in your neurological system when you were a child. Like this is the wisdom of the body. And I really want to bring the body to the system of human design, to the system of gene keys. I worked a lot with bridging the gap between tantra and sexuality and life force. And I feel like living the body is a statement in a way. You know, it's that level of saying, yeah, it's that thing. It's even that simple. Bring in the body, bring in the embodiment. That's what we want to do. That's what we stand for. And to have somebody like you, Teresa, that has, like I said from the beginning, all the wisdom with this, and have done it for so long, it's just an amazing portal that I'm so grateful for. And I I really can't wait for us to go in this also structured way. Like every time we meet, we're going to look at something specific, and we're going to open another door and open another door until we are, together cracking the code, which is so important right now when the world is, going through a pandemic, whether, it's more like on the physical or the like emotional or the mental plane. Like we are all shaken. There's fear. There's like, so this is the code that we want to crack so that we all can come into our sovereignty. And like Simone was saying, choose on an everyday basis to nurture ourselves in ways that are constructive, not destructive. So that's, I guess that's it for me.
I love it. Thank you so much, Bella. Teresa, any closing comments before we talk about the time, the place, how people join us?
Yeah, I want to give you licorice tea. I would do, or add some licorice to your diet with your detox. Licorice is really good. And I'm not talking the licorice that is candy and has a lot of sugar. I've known people who want to use that. That doesn't necessarily work real well. The real licorice, and you can get it, most people can get it in a medicinal tea form. Another tea for you, Simone. But licorice will help. It helps with detox. It detoxes all the meridians. Licorice does.
Okay, cool. Licorice isn't my favorite flavor, but I will try it. And Teresa gave me another tea. I'm gonna. Oh, fantastic! So much. Yeah. Okay.
That's the one I use.
And Azurite says that Aveda is also a beautiful blend of licorice tea. Thank you for that contribution. And so if this is lighting you up and you want to see the connection, experience the connection between medicinal foods, Chinese medicine, the I Ching, and human design, join us. Bella's put the link in the chat, the bit.ly link. You can sign up and join us. We'll be meeting for 5 calls. They'll be Tuesday, July 6th through August 3rd. So 4 weeks in July and the first week in August. We'll be meeting at 1:45 Pacific, 4:45 Eastern, and 8:40 p.m. UTC. So that's the European. We are super excited for this journey. We are grateful for your wisdom, Teresa, and your co-creation, everyone who signs up to be with us. And what an amazing gift you are giving us by doing this for free and reaching out to our community. We so appreciate you, Teresa. So until next Tuesday, take care. Have a great week. Try some licorice tea. And I'll give you one more that Teresa gave me. And it was hawthorn and hibiscus tea. And I couldn't find hawthorn and hibiscus together. But what I did find was hawthorn and hibiscus. And I just make them in the same cup. And it has become one of my favorite teas. It is so nourishing, and I feel so just alive when I drink it. And I think that is a hallmark of medicinal foods, is that when I'm really focused and on track, I feel so alive. So we hope you will join us. Until next week, take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.